you can review how your presentations evolve.
I mean, don't forget access.
Yeah, I gave him access. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ready, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name is Amin, previously an automation technician, now a pursuit fellow.
Hi, my name is Brianna Moshe, currently a middle school mathematics teacher, looking to make my transition into the tech industry.
Hi, I'm Joseph Basawa. I studied international relations and now I am a software engineer.
And we are Endeavor.
There are many organizations, profit and nonprofit, that rely on the strengths of their volunteers to accomplish their goals. It usually falls upon volunteer managers to handle that daunting task of coordinating with those volunteers and while keeping them up to date and engaged.
With that problem in mind, we've created Endeavor, a platform that allows organizations to manage their volunteers and their events seamlessly. So we'll start the demo and Alexis will be our volunteer manager.
So she's granted by this login page where she signed in, and she has access to the dashboard where she sees key information about the volunteers and the events and how many hours have been spent there. She also can have a glance of upcoming events or key events. And also she can see new volunteers who like just sign up to the platform where she can accept them. But she decided also to create an event for 6.2 fellows. So she had an event here where she has this form. She has to fill it up with all the informations about, she had like the date, the time, the title, the class, and all the key information there. After creating this event, she hit submit and she gets redirected to the events page where she have access to all upcoming events. There's also a filter to filter by past or she can search other events. Oh, sorry. She also remember having Dessa, the 6.2 program manager, asking her about Brianna, who needs a mentor. So she goes to the volunteer page. She picks up, no, this one is not open for volunteer to, let's see, Christina. Christina is open to be a mentor, and she has no mentees yet. So she can pair her with Brianna.
So we'll now take a look at it from a volunteer's perspective. John wants to sign into Endeavor.
You have access, Joey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hold up. It's taking a while. And he's greeted by his dashboard. The volunteer dashboard gives him a 2-week glance of his upcoming events, as well as the 3 previous events that he's volunteered for, and other events coming happening this week that he's not volunteered for. He takes a quick look at his stats, his volunteering this year, the hours that he's accrued, and as well as the events he's volunteered for. And satisfied, he'll take a look at the upcoming events. And oh, there's this new event, graduation, and 6:30. I can do that. 10 to 6. Looks good. Sign me up. So he volunteers. He requests to volunteer for this event, and then he goes out for a jog.
Now Alexis received an email from saying volunteer event request. She opens this email and see that an event named graduation have a request from John Evans. So she opened this link and she can see the information about the event, and sees also that John Evans requested to volunteer for this event, but his request is pending. She takes a look at his profile. She noticed that he's a good fit for this event, so she accepts his request.
Going back to John, he checks his email because he just got a new notification. All right, I'm control. Event request status. What is this? Let's see. Oh, so this is for the graduation event that he had signed up for, and it was approved. That's great. So let's go to the event in the app, and it gives him this option to straight away add it to his Google Calendar. With that click, everything is automatically pre-filled, graduation, the date, and looks good. Save it to my calendar. And there you go.
So tech milestones. We were wondering about how to notify users of any changes like volunteer requests, confirmations, cancellations as soon as possible. We looked into different notification technologies like Redis, server-side events, or polling. We weighed out the number of complexities those would add to our app along with pros and cons with our advisor, and we ultimately decided on SendGrid, which is an email automation API to deliver timely communications between the organization and volunteers using Endeavor. For future implementations, we want to complete the fellows and staff sides of the platform, where fellows can list their portfolios and LinkedIn's, program managers can glance at their fellows' mentorings.
We also want to do a bulk email integration where the volunteer manager can select multiple emails to send at once.
As well as we want to incorporate a resume book or directory of job-ready certified fellows where volunteers can look through if they or their company is actively hiring. Fourth feature would be a news and blogging functionality so that Pursuit can regularly update volunteers on what fellows are up to, what projects they're working on, and what is being accomplished.
And that's Endeavor. Where in touch and informed volunteers lead to engaged volunteers. Thank you. Now for Q&A.
And that was 7 minutes.
7 minutes on the dot.
Mm-hmm.
What is the exact time that we're looking for?
7 minutes.
7 minutes on the dot. Cool. That was good. I had given some feedback to group one about like their interest that I wanted to share with everyone. So I guess I'm gonna do it now, which is when you're introducing yourself, say your name. You can say what you currently do or what your current profession is or what you were previously doing. What you do now, which is you are a full stack web developer. And so my recommendation would be like a sentence on some, what do you used to do, where you are now, and another sentence on where do you want to go, like what are your interests, where do you, once you're a web developer, what do you want to do like next? So you could do like 3 very quick sentences about yourself that describe you in the past, the present, and the future in a way. And that will be my advice for all the groups. I think that can make your introduction a bit more memorable, as well as giving volunteers or the people that are coming an avenue to ask you questions. Like if you say like you are really into automation, you're really into AI, or that you would like to do some of that, or that you want to do backend development, or maybe that you actually have background in common with one of these volunteers, and so on. Regarding that, I would say there's no need for you to say like you're a Pursuit Fellow explicitly. That's, everyone knows you're a Pursuit Fellow because this is the Pursuit Technical Showcase. So use those milliseconds to say something about you in the past, present, and where you want to go in the future. That's my recommendation. I think you guys did it well. I think what I did notice was like the future was missing, which is fine. I told you that you didn't have to do it like right now because it's a bit, it can be a bit difficult to like think, okay, what is the one phrase I want to do about where I want to go from here. But keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, I think I saw the you guys running with the script, which is cool. And tidying up the like the demo. I think as you do more practice rounds, that's just gonna become tighter and tighter. And yeah, I think I don't have any. Oh, I guess yeah. A piece of feedback that I took note here is whenever I mean you said like this is where the actually I forgot you were logging as the volunteer or as the manager. I think it might have been the manager. You said like the the volunteer manager sees key information about volunteers. If you can list like what is that key information exactly, like they can see the amount of hours all volunteers have put in, they can see upcoming events or exactly like what are those key information. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I guess like another small note that I took here was about like yeah like knowing what is the volunteer that is open for volunteering opportunities. But again, I think that with just reiterating the demo can come through. Mhm. Cool. I don't have the list at hand. I should put up I should pull up the list.
Next up is cover to cover.
Cover to cover.
Hello, everyone. It's the group 6, cover to cover. It's Cameron and Joanne. You guys here?
Yeah, we're
You don't
here.
hear me? Okay, great. I thought it was muted. So I'm Dante Flowers, study electrical engineering, and now I'm here to acquire more knowledge about the software side of things, such as, coding, programming in general, and I'm looking to be a data analysis or data engineer sometime in the future.
Hi, I'm Cameron Montague. I currently work at a charter school as a data tech operations, and I am looking forward to working at an internship at Citibank in the summer.
And I'm Joanne. I'm a full stack web developer, and I'm looking forward to getting a job in tech sometime in the future. All right. The problem is basically we all have our own preconceived notions just based on not knowing enough about certain places, and not knowing leads to ignorance, which leads to preconceived notions, stereotypes, bias, racism, disconnect, and a lot more.
Our solution is just getting first-hand accounts of what's happening around the world. And, just like asking questions, because questions are really the first step of actually gaining knowledge, and listening, reading, watching stories from other people. Cover to cover allows us to connect, or users connect through stories, really heavy focus on stories and not just regular user posts on how their day is going and everything, but we just want people to be engaged more than normal. So really, current events, yeah, we definitely need to finish that last one. Right, that's our solution, and here we can start the app demo, cover to cover.
So during this app demo, you'll see that users are actually able to explore different stories from other people around the world, and if they want to, they can sign up and start creating their own. From the beginning, you'll see that this is the landing page. The user will come into the site and be introduced to either logging in or exploring the site. And in the front page, they'll see two of the most popular stories that are being read and watched, and lots of traffic going on with them. As a person who isn't logged in, I can explore and see what's going on in the site. Right now we have hundreds of different posts from different people around the world. And on any one of these posts, we can see the title of the story. And when we hover over it, we get a little demo of what is actually going on. If I click on something like Always Funny, I'll see user Flicker Upper is talking about whatever story that they were talking about. And as a person who is logged in, I'll be able to ask a question or start a question prompt. So maybe they can continue this story with other interesting details. As we move left and right, we'll be able to see those details, and comments will be available later. In order to make a post, however, we have to log in. So let's log into user Headband Armchair for some reason. And Headband Armchair has a little bio of themselves right here where they can choose to change their profile picture if they don't like this awesome face. See if we can do that. Oh, can't do that right now. Anyway, the user can also see the post that they originally, what they already posted up there. This user has 10 already there, and if they want to create a new one, they just click the plus sign. Here.
Okay, here, right. Here users are able to create a story. It's first they would go ahead and select a question, or actually they'll make a title for the post, and then go ahead and select the question right after, and then the text field that's provided will go ahead and actually I wanted to model it after the Google surveys, such as when you do write a question, each question will have their own text field. It could add multiple questions for stories, because that's really whether they are user generated or ones provided by us from our backend. After selecting question, a new text, like that, they can seamlessly expand their stories, really. So it'll be a more just more engaged. Asking questions and really answering questions would make the stories feel a bit more engaging to the user, and definitely be a different experience for users.
Cool. And that is our app. Going back to the slides, future implementations, we would like to install an infinite scrolling feature in the Explore page, so we're not loading 250 images plus at all times. We also have a few more.
Some of our tech milestones were React Redux, because we all were uncomfortable using it at the beginning, but we had to learn how to use it. And we also dabbled a lot with the UI UX design and which way would be the best possible experience for the user. And setting up Malter and with the avatar and the image files, that was also a problem we had and that we had to navigate. And also deciding which functionalities you wanted to put for our apps.
There we go. My bad. All right. Well, future information should include adding a map on the global page so users can find other users based in the region. Since this is kind of a heavy part of our app, 5 minutes. I'm busy. Through the map, users should be able to pin their location and see others pin location. When you make a post, just be able to say, "I'm from here. I'm here right now." So the story is in real time. A trending page for the most popular posts, just mostly engaged posts, like either through comments or just likes or modern questions, and random quotes on landing page, something they had worked on in the beginning, and video and audio posts.
Right. In addition to the blog posts we have, we would like the video post would be nice, and also audio posts that would basically look like quite similar, but instead of typing a response, the user would be able to talk into the microphone or record themselves making a story, which could be good for outer environments. Maybe you make a little video and post it up on the site.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll open for questions from judges. And just an FYI, I'm kind of locked into my apartment right now, so I'm kind of just juggling around, trying to get people here so I can leave, you know. You're muted, Essa.
Oh, I said okay.
Cool, thank you. I had a few pieces of feedback. One on the solution slide. It seems to be too verbose. What I would like you to see on that slide can be the template that I had shared with you, where like basically your app name, a tagline of your app, and what are the features or what are the stuff that a user can do if they go to the app. And that is sort of like a teaser of what is that the user can do in the app. And then later on, when you go into like the actual demo, then you're actually showing people what they can accomplish in the app. I think, wait, could you put back that slide specifically?
Solution slide?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like, because like this is right. So like the second bullet point, cover to cover allows, in cover to cover, users can connect through their stories. Getting first-hand accounts of events happening from users in the area, because that is kind of like the why I see it of this ad. The why is because you want first-hand accounts of things happening around the world and how people are experiencing certain events. But the how you do that is by allowing people to post their stories on cover to cover. I think, yeah, and you talk about the problem and so on. So I'll share with you, I'll share in your Slack channel again, sort of like that template. You can take a look at it. And feel free to pull me in. I can do some revisions as well. I was thinking for the Explorer, like as you talk about the story that the user goes into the Explore page, to maybe either have an actual story for the demo, or walk us through, even if you have a fake story, like not a fake story, but you have just that Lorem Ipsum, pretend that is a real story and tell us, because we're not going to read the text. So if you tell us, we're not going to be, a lot of people won't even realize that what you have is the Lorem Ipsum text.
We have stories, like see the story, complete stories from group members here.
Great.
They're under a specific
see
username. Right. Oh my god.
those.
So if you can use one of those, that's great. And so that I think, yeah, that makes it a little bit more real. And then also showing like how you can move from one question to the other as well. How does that sound in general? Oh yeah, this is great. This is the story you should demo actually.
Yeah, a couple of stories like this.
Mm-hmm.
You should demo that story, like Alea was saying.
Okay.
Group 6.
Yeah, one of these, just maybe add 2 or 3 questions, or actually this one seems to have 10 questions. So this is great.
Yes, the illusion is working.
Cool. So that's that. I think, yeah, this is an iterative.
Iterative.
In this word. Can somebody say it?
Iterative?
Iterative. Iterative.
Or whatever.
Are
Let's
those
just
the same?
Iterative.
An iterative approach. For I think it felt a bit rough, the transition on like what you were showing me onto creating a new story. So maybe you can literally say, okay, now let's say Dante wants to share his story about X, and he goes to the create story page where he's presented with. Also, this is feedback for all the groups. Most 99% of the time, you need to tell the user what they're seeing. Like, so in this example is the user goes to the create story page, and they see XYZ. They select this in they select a question on the drop down that they want to start for, they want to use as their introductory question or for the story and so on. So you want to be like stating almost the obvious. It is because it's obvious for us, but for people outsiders, they don't know what they're looking at. You have to tell them what they're looking at, basically. So that what else? Oh, in the technical milestone slide, you should change Redux by something like implement Redux for React state management or for state management. Because people that don't know Redux won't know what that is about. But if you tell them state management, they can start getting an idea of what that is. State management is not a concept that is only front end or only React. It's more wider. So for anyone that doesn't know Redux, state management, they will get an idea of what that is. You could say like implement Redux for client or front end state management. And similar on the motor bullet point you have, I will say people don't know what motor is, and say like implementing backend or server side file uploads using motor. Or you could even leave the motor out, but implementing basically file uploads in your app. And then you're gonna get asked, well, how do you implement that? And then you're gonna talk about, oh, well, motor allows to specify like a folder where we wanna send our files to, and this is how we need to set up the route for that to happen, etc. So those are the two changes that, and everything I will suggest. Oh, the one last piece of feedback is Dante, you speak a bit too fast at some points, and it was hard to follow what you were saying. So maybe slowing down a little bit on some areas. Cool.
Can I give some feedback as well?
Of course.
Although you spoke fast, Dante, I could sense your excitement and engagement with what you were talking about. So that's what I would encourage everyone on the team to emulate that level of excitement and engagement.
Yeah, and at any point, like if any one of you want like feedback on reiterating with that, like before presenting and so on, feel free to send me a Slack message, and I can give you feedback about how something is sounding, or if you want to reward something, etc.
Okay, so Choral is next. Choral is next. Choral. Sorry, guys. I'm just. Ay, Dios mío.
Choral.
Okay, Sergio, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah. Let me go back. Yeah.
Also, if we could see you.
I'm not gonna turn on my camera because I'm gonna share my screen, and you know my connection is.
Okay.
But For Saturday, I make sure I'm in a place that has a stronger connection.
Okay, that's good.
Um,
I'm gonna start the time now.
okay.
Wait, can we start over? We're not even ready.
What? Oh God.
Come on.
Starting now.
Every second counts.
Okay.
Okay, we're Choral. I'm Owen Jones. I worked on the front end.
I'm Sergio Consalama. I was in charge of the media player.
And I'm Peter Fiorentino. Can't even say my own name. And I'm in charge of the back end.
All right, so Choral's mission is we believe every musician should be able to work with anyone, no matter where they live or their situation. We love music because it brings people together. It has a healing quality and it's collaborative in nature. So the problem that we saw is that because music is inherently collaborative, a musician needs a community to foster that creativity. And if you have no musicians in your network and you are not going enough to add people to your network, you know, how do you make music or good music?
So our solution is Choral. Choral is a remote musical playground where users can share the sounds that they create, and then collaborate with their friends to create songs from these sounds by accepting and denying changes that the other users make. And then they can browse through the site to find other artists' songs, and they can contribute and collaborate with them as well. And now we're going to take you through Choral. So we're going to log in as Peter or Pete. So right here we have two feeds, which is our Explore feed, which is every user in Choral, all of their posts. And then my feed would just be the post of the users that Pete is following. So we're going to go back to our Explore feed and click into one of our sessions for Instrumental Groove. So this is one of the logged in users' own sessions. Here we have the artwork for the user. In our red area, we have all of the tracks that are currently in here. So we have the original, and then Sergio inputted some guitar. That's why his picture is different. And then Pete also played some bass. If we go to the white area, we have the option to either record live right out of the user's device, or they can upload a track from their computer, which we will upload some clav. And when you upload it, it's going to appear in a new teal area called the pool. And the pool is all of the user submissions that have neither been denied nor approved yet. So right now it's in black and white to mute it. But if you click on the user's picture, it'll go into full color. And then when you hit play on the bottom, you can hear. Besides the so we're going to merge this track of the clav. Here's our track section. And our track section works as a live mixing tool. So you can raise and lower the volume of each individual track and pan them from left to right. So if we focus on the guitar that Sergio's playing, we could bring the volume all the way up because we can't really hear it at the setting it's at right now. And it's kind of hard to hear the panning aspect, moving it left to right over video chat. But it is, the middle point is coming out of both your speakers equally. And as you slide it, it moves from one dominant speaker to the next. We have a collaborators page, which is a list of all of the approved users that a logged in user has worked with so that they can easily access them for future collaborations. And this is a user's profile, which has all of their local information and the ability to follow and unfollow a user. And this is our new session section. And our sessions are called reefs. where you have the same option to record live right out of your device, or you can upload audio saved from your device as well as the cover art. And that is Choral. So some of our tech milestones, we wanted to give the users something more than just a social media based in music. So we were able to add the live mixing board as well as direct recording from the user's devices.
And another, like the biggest hurdle that we faced at the time of applying all the technologies that we wanted to apply and reach the functionality that we were aiming for, was to make it cross-platform, that you can use it from a cell phone, you can use it on a Safari browser, and also, of course, Chrome. And the tool that we use for making this happen the most easy way and less kind of code expensive was Howler.js, which is a library that relies on the web audio API technology, but it makes all the polyfills that are necessary for adapting to the specifics of every platform. So we're really happy with the result of that, and it really makes our app really easy to understand for someone that's not really kind of into these specific caveats of the web audio API, which is not fully implemented by all browsers or platforms.
Okay, so some future implementations. Since it's a collaborative process, we should add peer-to-peer messaging and chat messaging between users. We were thinking of making it look similar to Twitter's DMs.
And we wanted to add a drum machine that was clickable so that users don't just have to record out of their microphone or upload sounds. They can make music straight from the app itself.
Another future implementation that we want to put into work would be that you could, right now when you collaborate with someone, you have to start from the beginning of the song. So we also want to like allow the user to collaborate from the middle of the song, or basically from any part of the song. So that's we call fragment specific collaboration, and is one of our future goals. Okay, that's our app, and we're ready for questions.
Ooh, that was good. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys were 7 minutes on the dot too. Great.
Nope. We were 9 seconds over.
Well, you started early. You started timing before we were ready.
But no, I paused it and then I was,
Okay.
you were 9 seconds over.
Anyway.
But you were.
Compare that to yesterday, right?
Cool. I really like your slides, and I really like the distribution of your speak. Like those two things are on point. Like the amount that each one of you spoke was very well distributed. That makes me stay on my toes, like paying attention who's speaking, and that was very well paired with very concise and clean slides. Like you don't say anything extra. You go to the core with bullet points, and I really want to encourage everyone to take that as an example of being very concise. Like the slides, by the slides being concise and not having too much text, they made me think, oh, I need to really listen to what these guys are saying because I don't want to miss anything. I think I think there's two things that I feel like you need to work on. One is the photos of your intro. They need to look in the exact same aspect ratio. So you're gonna need to like maybe crop them because it looks like Peter's one. I'm not sure if it looks stretched on one of the axes. Maybe put your names a bit bigger. But yeah, make sure that your photos look good. Who did that slide? Just out of curiosity, no judging involved.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We all got.
I actually thought
pictures with different sizes. I don't know what to do. I just tried to make it look similar.
That's fine. I actually thought it was made by Sergio because Sergio's picture was the only one that looked good. Or like it didn't look stretched.
when we went through editing them, Sergio was the only one who was specific about his size. So that's why his
I see. Yeah. Let me know. There's a tool. What you will need to do is restore the original size, and in the slides there's a tool to crop them. And basically you just crop them to the exact same dimensions, all of them, and they will look cool. So that's that, and the other part will be about like, yeah, again, it will come with reiterating and practicing yourselves on like, sometimes it was like when there was music playing and Peter was trying to talk and vice versa. So because there's two competing sounds on Zoom, it was really hard to like listen to what was going on. So like tightening up on like, okay, let's let it play until this point, and at this point Peter jumps in for the next stuff. And yeah, like basically just syncing up on that regard when there's music playing. That's pretty much it, all I have.
I agree.
Cool. Good job. Keep working on it.
Thank you.
Who's next?
The commander.
We'll capture the commander. Jonathan and Sevilla.
Give me a minute. Let me share my screen with the presentation. I'm actually having an issue with, I contacted you, Alejo, with a poll, so I'm not able to demo the app. I'm having like a Git thing, but I can go through the presentation.
Okay. You had like a merge conflict?
I think so.
Okay. Something you could try in 1 minute will be git merge -- abort. That will abort the merge, and you can present with what you have. Try that. If not, let's run just with the presentation.
Yeah, that isn't working.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, are you guys seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. So the name of this app is called Capture the Commander. On the team is myself. I am currently a customer service representative as well as an aspiring web developer.
And my name is Jonathan Fagan. I'm a former mailroom clerk. I'm an aspiring game developer and an aspiring web developer as well.
The problem that we had and we thought to try to solve was people staying home during quarantine and keeping themselves entertained. We wanted to create a game where people would just be able to pass the time with their friends or whoever is home with them. So that was the problem that we wanted to solve. The solution is Capture the Commander. It's an online card game that's a combination of the game Memory. If you guys remember the game Memory, it's a strategy game and it has a bit of a luck involved. Users are able to start a game and play against someone else who is with them on the computer. It doesn't have the function yet of being a true two-player game. It keeps track of the games won and also track of the matches played. Some of the tech challenges were how to deal these cards in a specific formation, due to the fact that that's a big part of how the game is played. And then after that, how to create the actual game logic and the game moves. How we dealt with that was figuring out a way to deal the deck and then map through the deck. And we solved the logic part by breaking down the logic into the smallest pieces and figuring out how to code that. For future implementation, we would want to have the app have a login page, and the users can create a profile. They can then start a game, play against another user. Profiles would be able to save wins and loses, and users can create friend groups. Thank you. That's the end of the presentation.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So I had a few thoughts in the first slide, like the photos. I think maybe could you click on it? Just take a closer look. Yeah. Here, make the photos the exact same size. I think since Savita, your photo was taken more up close. What you could do is for Jonathan's photo, cropping it, like maybe making it a little bit bigger so that you're about the same size, and then cropping it to the same size as yours. I think Jonathan here, I think there is a lot in your description. You can say, I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think it should just be your name, your LinkedIn, and your GitHub under your photos. Not so much what you want, what you're doing now and what you're aspiring to do, but literally just, this is my LinkedIn, this is my GitHub, this is my name.
I think you should include like what you're aspiring to, especially like if it's something that you feel strongly about. I think something that I did not realize until Dessa brought it out is about, yeah, ideally also put your links to GitHub, LinkedIn, and what was the other one?
LinkedIn and GitHub and name.
Yeah.
Also, you're not transforming individual companies, right? Did you take that off?
Oh, that's the title.
Yeah, I think that was just an oversight.
I think there was one team that I saw, they did the LinkedIn and GitHub really well.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that?
Endeavor.
Okay. If Endeavor could like take a screenshot of that slide and share in the class chat, which I think is, if I remember correctly, is like the link or the icon of LinkedIn and then slash, then your username. The icon of GitHub slash, then your username. I think that looks really cool. Cool, so that's on this here. I think on the solution slide, I think Savita, don't say about like, don't talk about this functionality that you don't have there yet. Like you said, like it's not really a true multiplayer game. Instead, highlight that it's a game that two players can play while being on the same computer, or sharing the front end. So that's on that regard. Also, I think you guys need to distribute the talk. I feel that Savita spoke a lot and Jonathan didn't. So distribute the slides basically. Who's gonna say what and so on. Yeah, and let me know if I can assist you on the merge conflict and so on, or anything else that pops up, even with the presentation itself. Anything else, Dessa, you want to add?
Maybe well, once you figure out the merge conflict or whatever the technical issue is, maybe you can illustrate a little bit more about your tech milestones or hurdles. I think that would be very helpful for your presentation.
Yeah, I guess I think I did miss that one. On the technical milestone, so Vida, could you go to that slide really quickly? Yeah, so I think technical milestones that I think you could list here in like maybe a single bullet points will be like how to represent a deck of cards in code and have the functionality to deal cards as a dealer will do in a casino. Could be like a bullet point. Maybe implementing the rules of this game that is a physical game that people play with a physical deck. Implementing those rules on code, basically. The functionality that if you can't click certain cards because if they're not fully uncovered, that can be another milestone that you guys can include here, and so on. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Capture the commander.
Next up, Pantry.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, guys.
Hello.
All right, sorry about that. This is Pantry.
So let's introduce the team real quick.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vanilla Brown. I'm currently inventory control specialist at Nordstrom, and I aspire to be a DevOps engineer.
My name is Janesh Snappet. I'm currently a software developer apprentice at Code Academy, and I aspire to be a developer.
My name is Michael Amparo. I'm incoming analyst for Citi. I'll be starting soon. And I aspire to be a developer in data science.
So that was the team. Now let's go on to the problem.
So the problem that we noticed was household food waste. Some of the statistics we found was that America wastes roughly 40% of its food, and most of that comes from residential consumers. So if you look at the charts, that's the green pie, the green color in the pie. Some of the food waste occurs because of reasons like overbuying or poor planning when we buy our foods. And lastly, food waste strains not just our environment, but also our wallets. So what's the solution?
The solution is Pantry, which helps to seamlessly manage your pantry and food items that you've purchased. So to use Pantry, you scan a product barcode and it automatically gets added to your pantry through, we use 3 different APIs to search for the item based on the barcode. And after the item is finished, you add it to your shopping list, and then you're able to go out and then repurchase the item. You're able to get nutritional facts on the item itself. And then you keep track of your whole pantry in your smartphone, so you can keep track of your pantry while you're on the go, on the way to the supermarket. So now let's take a look at the app itself. So I'm going to log into my account because I'm going to be on my way to the supermarket. We're using Firebase for authentication. So when you log in, you meet your dashboard. When I log in, I'm going to meet my dashboard. It's going to welcome current state I'm in, the time, and these are different options. You can see all the receipts that you've had, and we're some of the features here aren't fully implemented yet, so we're gonna move on. Now I'm gonna take a look at my pantry to see what I currently have. I can see I have my Oreos. Check how much I have 2. I purchased them on the 6th. I actually purchased them on the 3rd, so I don't know. There might have been an issue with how it was done. So yeah, we have to implement that. So take a look at my pantry, see if I have Rice Krispies, see how many I have. And then, so what now, I'm at the grocery supermarket. I'm going to check my shopping cart. There's nothing in my shopping cart. So let's launch a camera and then add, I just purchased this oats. I'm gonna add it to my shopping cart. Take a picture of the barcode. I get an alert of what I scanned. And now it's automatically in my shopping cart. Now I can either, if I didn't actually want to add this to my pantry, keep track of this in my pantry, I can swipe left and I can hit the delete button to delete the item from the shopping cart, or I can swipe left, which is going to add the item to my pantry. And I go over here and I refresh the page. The item is now correctly in my pantry. I scanned one, and then I can change the amount or change the purchase date if I wanted to. So now let's say if I'm finished with my oats. Now I want to go add it to my shopping list. I can add oats to my shopping list and say I want to get it finished too fast. I want to get 3 this time. So I'm going to submit and add it to my shopping list. But I want to get a specific brand of oats, so I can edit the shopping list. And let's get Quaker instead. And so now I'm going to pass it off to Michael to further speak on the app.
So some of the milestones we had to overcome were learning the differences between React Native and React. As one might expect, React and React Native do share a lot in common, but there are differences in navigation, styling, and local storage. So those are some of the things we had to overcome. But in terms of what we use for navigation, we're using React navigation, which is specific to React Native. And that allows us to navigate using the tab bar, like as you saw in the bottom of the app, or using what they call a stack, which would remain in the same page and just overlay different screens on top of each other. The styling is slightly different as well. So we don't use CSS. We use the React Native style sheet, which is specific to the components you are using. Unlike CSS, if you can have one CSS file with different class names and different IDs, and the styling would automatically be applied. With React Native styling, it's a little more specific, and you have to be specific about which components you want to style. And in terms of local storage, since it is a phone and it's an app downloaded on your phone, the app is always going to stay there, whereas a browser, anytime you refresh the window, the information, the page gets reloaded. Whereas with an app, the storage is somewhat permanent and is dependent on user interaction for that to change, as well as another thing we had to take into account was offline use. So apps can be used offline, whereas web page can't. That's another thing we had to take into account. For that, we're using Firestore to implement some offline features in the future. And some of the future implementations we want to do is allow multiple users for one pantry. Most people share a pantry with other people. if you have a roommate, you and your roommate can share the same pantry. So we're working on that right now. Another thing we want to do is be able to parse out receipts. So if a user has a receipt from large purchase that they just did, they can scan the receipt. The app would recognize the text and automatically add those items to their pantry. Another thing is to prevent food waste. We want to be able to alert users when their food is when their food is about to expire using sockets. And some other things we want to do is implement affiliate marketing to allow users to shop directly on the app, as well as be able to uh, monetize the app. And with that in mind, we can also give recommendations in the future. Using machine learning, we'd be able to give recommendations by learning the habits of users, what items they buy more often, what items they usually let expire. And yeah, that is Pantry. So now we'll open up the floor for Q&A.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's always good to end in that note, opening up for Q&A. Cool. I think your slides were also clean, concise. There was only one that I was thinking that had a lot of content, which was the future implementations. I think you should have maybe 4 or 3 only points. I think I saw 6. And what that can come across a little bit as is like there's a lot of stuff you guys want and you haven't decided on like what are the next, like the top 3. So I'll say reducing that number to at least 4 on the future implementation, the ones that you think are more important to talk about. What else? In terms of, I think, yeah, similar to capture the commander, don't mention what is not implemented. Talk about what is implemented. Yeah, or don't say like, oh, this is not implemented yet. While you're in the middle of the demo, like I'm sure you can frame it as what it is implemented in the app. And then those things that for which you said that's not implemented yet, then they should be in the future implementations slide, which I think they were. Yeah. Oh, in the technical milestones, I think it needs a little bit of work in terms of like maybe scripting. Scripting that slide can help you, Mike, understand like or make you realize the point that you want to get across, and then summarize it more concisely. Let me know if you want me to take a look at a draft or anything in there. I think from there I saw the icons of like Postgres, React Native, ML Kit, and from there, I guess like it was hard for me to see why were the icons there. I think maybe one way that you could think about it is maybe a bullet point is associated with an icon. Like, one of the tech milestones is dealing with React Native, like using a mobile app using React Native, and then you can put like the icon next to that. Another tech milestone was implementing Firebase storage, or I don't remember exactly. You're using Firebase for storing the information, is that correct? No. Or you're using it for the ML kit?
We're using it for several things. Firebase is very mobile friendly, so they offer a lot of things. We're using it for the text parsing, but we haven't implemented, but we didn't demo it. We're using Firebase storage for the image upload, and we're using Firestore for the API, for the barcode API.
I see. And what about the Firebase ML kit? Where do you use that?
That's for the barcode. That
That's,
grabs the barcode from the picture.
Yeah,
that's
it also does that as well.
okay. So yeah, then maybe like I guess what I'm thinking is maybe putting the icon next to the bullet point. Like we implemented, or the barcode scan is one of the tech milestones is implementing barcode scanning and pulling information from a barcode via the Firestone ML kit. Cool. I think that's all. That's all I have. Mhm.
Can you guys customize the slides? Like, don't use the, like make it your own Pantry slides, kind of like how Cover to Cover and Carrie did. I'd love to see every group do that.
So no pursuit slides?
Yeah, no, that's only if you're like crunched for time and you absolutely cannot come up with your own branding, right? Okay.
I think for that, I really like your color scheme. That I don't know. Maybe it's because that's the color of the t-shirt I'm wearing. I don't know. But that's like a very soft color that you can. What you can do is like just look at the Google slide templates and one that you like, then just adapt the colors to your main colors, and that can be something cool.
You guys have the time and the thing to do that, your own branding and your own logo and all of that. So do it.
Cool. Oops. Next up is Pantry Party.
Super cool.
Oh, can I see my screen?
Suzette, just let me know when you're ready.
Very good.
I think he didn't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
No.
No?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay. Can Doug hear me?
I can hear you. You're coming in clear.
Okay.
Just having some tech problems here on my end.
Uh-oh.
It's got a bit too much open. But whenever you're ready, Suzette.
We're good.
Cool. Hello, everybody. My name is Douglas McCrell, and I am joined by...
My name's Suzette Islam, and we're Pantry Party.
Pantry Party.
I'm currently a full stack web development fellow at Pursuit, and I aspire to be a software developer and focusing on marrying art and healthcare. So creating a platform where I can just bring those two together.
And I've been a video producer for Pfizer for nearly a decade now. And I'm currently a full stack web development engineer. And I'm looking forward to integrating video into what I do.
So the problem that we're looking to solve with Pantry Party, the problem that we're addressing with Pantry Party is COVID-19 and social distancing. This leaves audiences hungry for connection. So while people are stuck at home, everybody's looking for streaming content in greater numbers, but have very few options when it comes to cooking related material. You have current platforms where you have that access to go live with your audience, but those broadcasters don't necessarily have the tools that they need to make an instructional cooking show easy and intuitive. There's also the issue of having recipe websites and blogs disconnected from these live streaming platforms. So hosts aren't able to directly connect those recipes and instead have to resort to providing an outside resources for their audiences to follow along.
Sorry, just be with you in just a moment. All right. Oh no, my Zoom controls. What's the solution to this problem? You may be asking yourself. Well, our solution is Pantry Party. And Pantry Party is serving up fresh streams daily. Obviously, it's going to give our users brand new tools and empower them to create the kinds of cooking shows that they want to online, live and in real time. Users are going to get access to these tools so they can curate their own recipes and share them publicly or keep them private in their own digital cookbook. Users are going to be able to schedule live stream events in advance, so that way their users can be able to know when to tune in when they're going live. And by connecting your cookbook to your recipe, then while you're broadcasting, users will be able to display on-screen directions as they progress through their cooking show. And the best part is that if users don't have any recipes of their own, they can just use one of our suggested recipes right on their dashboard. But rather than hold us up, let's check out the app right now.
So we're greeted by our landing page, and here you have the option to log in or sign up. So I will be signing up as Suzanne. So when I go into our site, we're greeted by the dashboard, and in the dashboard, you'll see 4 suggestions for recipes, just in case you don't have one. I didn't have one in my database. So if I click one, you'll be able to have access to the YouTube video that is provided by the MealDB API. And you also have the directions. I can go back to our homepage, and let's say I want to start a stream. So hypothetically speaking, let's say we do have a recipe here. I'm going to create an event, and in this event, I'll give it a name. So I'll call it, I don't know, Cooking with Friends. I'm gonna set it for today. And the recipe information that we're gonna go with is the recipe ID. So I'm going to pick 1 and I'm gonna create it. So it does create, but in doing so, we're going to just go to the stream and we're gonna connect it. So
Yeah, exactly. In this case, if you want to check out the Bloody Mary stream.
And connect.
Because I'm right now teaching how everybody's going to be able to make their very own Bloody Mary. Thank you for your for your patience, folks. I had some problems connecting beforehand. I have too many things running on my computer right now. But as you can see, we're running live for all of you to watch right now. And I would, at this point, showcase how we can advance in real time and showcase the directions and steps to our potential audience members. The best part is, too, that this works on mobile devices, whether it be your phone, so you can watch directly from your phone, or you can even watch, again, this is what kind of threw me for a loop, on your tablet as well, which is pretty exciting stuff. So our tech milestones that we were able to really attach to ourselves in this, we had to obviously overcome some pretty big hurdles when it came to video, integrating that into our site. Which meant, of course, learning WebRTC from the ground up and integrating WebSockets to be able to make that connection. For example, one big part of this puzzle was decoding the media stream object and learning how to pass that through WebSockets in real time to watchers, so that way everybody can see the exact same stream at the exact same time with relatively very little latency. And that's thankfully done through the RTC peer connection and the ICE server, the RTC peer connection being the heart of the WebRTC event.
Another technical milestone that we had was navigating through the MealDB API. The way that they provide their information on their database didn't necessarily correlate with how we had it set up on ours for our users' cookbook. So just mapping through that information and having it appear in a nicely formatted way was a challenge. Another technical milestone we have had is using Material UI as a CSS framework. There's a lot of documentation that one would have to go through to make their site appropriate for what we have right now with the current stream.
And our future implementations, obviously, we have some things that we'd like to tie in. Obviously, the on-screen directions for people as they're progressing through each broadcast, as well as a display of our cookbook, where you can house all of your personally curated recipes.
We would also like to implement a followers component of our site where users would be able to have a public-facing profile that others can access and kind of friend in that way. And they can, in that case, save clippings of their recipes into their own personal cookbook and have that show up as an option in their new event form.
And after that, we'd like to open up the floor for any questions you may have. And again, thank you so much for joining us as we presented Pantry Party.
I love the energy.
Again, thank you for bearing with me as I suddenly realized nothing was working just as we started. I had to scramble to get everything going.
I think I had like a few comments on the. I think you tried to sync up on saying Pantry Party at the same time. I think that is too challenging, and we go back to like the competing audio. Like Zoom had something going on about like that determines what audio should go through if two people are speaking at the same time. So maybe just picking one to say the name of the app. What else? Yeah, I like the introductory slide. I think in general, the problem slide, the solution slide, and the tech milestones slide, I think they have a lot of content. The technical milestones one for the part of the WebRTC, I think you could just say like implementing WebRTC and all the other, and I think I'm thinking about the other bullet points you have underneath about like more of the details of how WebRTC works, like or the ICE servers and the peer connection. I think you can leave those details out. I think you can talk about WebRTC. And correct me if I'm wrong, WebRTC and WebSockets, which are two different technologies. So you can have that like implementing WebRTC and WebSockets, and that doesn't mean you don't talk about ICE servers or I forgot the peer connections. You can talk about it, but just have sort of the bullet point for that. And then you know verbally you go into the rest. For the, can we take a look at the problem slide very quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah, this needs to be summarized in like either bullet points or 2-3 sentences. And I you know a thought that came when you were telling me about this slide is I think this is concise. This is what you can say. You can literally say these things, but have bullet points or 2 or 3 sentences that summarize it. But this speech can basically be your script for this slide.
I'd probably say the same for the solution as well.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Yeah, so I think that's really all I have. Anything else you want to add, Dessa, maybe?
Oh no, you said it. Like I actually was taking notes while you guys were presenting, and you said you hit everything that I was gonna go to. Also, you guys can also customize your slide. I feel like that's something you should do.
Yeah, and I think in terms of connecting the app and where you're gonna start looking into that, so you don't have to switch around. Um, oh, there was one more thing about I think in the technical milestones. Um, I think I think you have other technical milestones that you can add that maybe I would like to explore with I think you to set some of the stuff that you work on the back end. That I think yeah the dealing with the mouse the MailDB API is one of them, but I think there's others as well that are worth noting. So and next time I check in with you, so I guess like the next start thinking about those, see which specific instance of that you want to talk about. Sorry. And then next time we check in with you guys, we can talk about. Cool. Okay. Next stop, remote theater.
I forgot to unmute myself. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. This is our app, Remote Theater. But before we go into detail, we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves. My name is Hugh Paul Camacho. I'm a freelance graphic designer, and I aspire to be an independent web developer.
And my name is Chuck. I am a former customer service representative who is looking forward to starting an internship with Citi this summer.
And I'm Khadijah. I work as a secretary at a high school, and I'm also a fellow at Pursuit looking for a career change into tech. So for this app, the problem we wanted to focus on is since the pandemic has started, people all over the world have looked into ways where they can still interact with family and friends. People needed a way to watch content with each other with a more personal touch, where it's not viewer controlled. The main idea is that not one person is controlling streaming what you watch. With social distancing, a platform for people to interact in real time as an alternative for how they used to interact offline. So the solution we came up with is remote theater, which is a replica of a physical movie theater with a twist. We wanted to recreate the theater experience while implementing social distancing. We created a web app that shows you top-rated movies and suggested movies based on your preferences. And then once you're choosing a movie to watch, you will see a little description of what the movie is about before you enter the showroom. And then once inside the showroom, we created a chat feature that allows users to interact with each other in real time.
And for our demo today, I'm going to focus on logging in as a new user, logging in as an existing user, signing up as a new user, and demonstrating the real-time chat functionality, as well as changing or switching preferences. So in this first tab, I'm going to log into my own account. And when I log in, I'm greeted by a list of the 4 top-rated movies, as well as a couple of movies based off of my preferences. And I'm going to switch to another tab and create another account as my friend Chuck. I just told Chuck about the app, and I told him that he can select some preferences. For example, he likes sci-fi movies, comedy movies, and adventure movies. And when he navigates back to the main page, he'll get a list of random movies based off of the preferences that that he selected. And we kind of decided we want to watch The Last Starship, so we're going to go into this movie theater. So far it's been running for like 50 minutes, so we're probably halfway around the movie. So he's gonna enter. And then I'm going to navigate back over to my tab, and I'm going to enter the same movie. And within the movie room, we can see messages from each other. So in my tab, I'm going to send a message to him. And then as I switch over back to Chuck's tab, he's going to see the message that I sent to him. And with this message, he can put a reaction on it, or he can reply to that comment with another comment. And Chuck is going to talk more about our technical milestones.
Right, so thank you, Hupal, for that. So one of the biggest technical challenges that we faced was really finding out how we wanted to coalesce the movie viewing experience so that all of the users using our app could watch the same movie at the exact same time. We tested a bunch of different approaches, from using Socket.io to build our own server, which we'll then send to the users. But we found that that was too slow. We also tried using Amazon Web Services 3 to basically host a remote server, but we also found that that had a lot of input lag as well. So eventually we decided to stick with the YouTube API that we were originally using as a placeholder, because we found it was pretty comprehensive. And we also found another module called Moment, which allowed us to sync the movies pretty well and handle everything through the client-side portion of our app. We also had to deal with handling difficult documentation during this project when we're building the chat API. So we used a chat API called GetStream, which had very complex documentation. And there was even a time when we were working on a problem and we couldn't figure out what the issue was. And then after 2 days of working, we found out that GetStream had actually canceled a free trial that we had without telling us. And that was why everything was breaking. So it was quite an interesting experience. But throughout this process, I believe that we as a group pretty much refined our abilities to research technical things and to apply them to our work. One last thing that we did learn through this process was deciding on a database structure. At the outset of building the app, we wanted to try using MongoDB to use something that we haven't really learned before. So while we did learn about MongoDB and the different distinct properties of the two different structures of databases, we did decide to settle with SQL because it fit our project needs better by allowing us to create personal homepages and personal movie preferences for different users using the use of joins, which MongoDB does not have. Now, going on to our future implementations, the one feature we're looking forward to having would be a private theater feature, which allows users to share a link and host movies for small groups if they don't want to watch a movie with the world. Other features would include a search feature where users can search for movies by name, a ratings feature which would allow users to choose their favorite movies and see feedback in their preferences based on their ratings of different movies. And we also want to add shows and episodes so that there is more of a variety for users to watch. And now we'll open the floor to the judges.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. A few pieces of feedback are some stuff that I had already said to all the teams. One, oh yeah, I forgot the clap. Sorry for the teams that I forgot to clap. You deserve all the claps. And the photos, make sure that they look exactly the same size, exactly the same aspect ratio. I think I saw some differences there. Shorten the lengths. You could just leave the icon. Yeah, you can just leave the icon. I was thinking about yeah, you can put the icon for GitHub, the icon for LinkedIn, and / your username, how people can find you there. You know, the people that the audience of this presentation is all people that have GitHub accounts, are all professional. They know what LinkedIn is, so they know what those icons mean. Maybe for like a demo day where it's more like product and people don't know what that cat looks like an octopus, then for that maybe you'll need to put the entire URL. I really like the slides. Really clean, concise, and yeah, similar to the other team. It made me pay attention. And I was thinking about like the importance of the slides. I was thinking most people won't read the slides, I think. That's my personal take. They will hear you, and they'll hear you and look at the slides. And if they want to review it later on, they'll look at the slides and they will be able to connect whatever bullet point to whatever you said. And so on. So really like the clean slides. Really shout out to Hugo on improving, like describing what was going on and how he was switching tabs to the different accounts. That was really good. I think an area of improvement there will be on maybe scripting or having some bullet points about what are the interactions that you want to demo. I think saying how the user adds the preferences, how they are going to meet up at the movie theater. So I think scripting in that area can help tighten that a little bit more, but definitely improvement on like telling me what was going on in the app. And that's all I have. Cool. Okay. Last but not least, Carrie. I hope I said it well. And
Those new glasses, Giselle?
No, they're just blue light lenses. I only use them when I'm staring at the computer all day, which was today. So.
Where is that answer?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, the other thing is like if you don't have your video on, it doesn't appear. The Zoom prioritizes people with video, so it shows them first. And right now I'm seeing you all in a row. Wait, okay. Wait. Yeah. Cool.
That's interesting. I see Dessa and you. It's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna start now. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aranza Garcia. I'm a full stack developer looking forward to creating applications that will be accessible to all.
My name is Brianny Taveras. I'm also a full stack web developer. I work at Best Buy as a customer service specialist, and I hope to join a software engineering team at one of my favorite companies.
Hi, everyone. My name is Giselle Sanchez. I'm an incoming analyst at Citi this summer and aspiring software engineer.
Hi, my name is Kathy Puma, a full stack web developer looking forward to get into front-end web development.
And this is Carrie.
So recently we've seen that consumer shopping habits have changed in the sense that most shopping is now done online. But when a customer orders a product online, it can take days to arrive at their doorstep because it's normally being shipped from a warehouse that's very far away, even if there's a store near them that has the same item in stock. Whenever a product is needed quickly and the customer is short on time, there are little to no viable options for them to obtain their product in just a few hours. They either need to place their order days in advance, choose from specific stores that offer same-day shipping, or go to the store and get the items themselves. Carry is a three-sided marketplace that connects a customer, a local store or brand owner, and a courier to achieve same-day delivery within hours of making a purchase. A service tailored to enhance the customer shopping experience, and we hope to become the go-to platform for customers that want their shopping needs fulfilled quickly. So let's suppose a customer needs to do last-minute shopping for her weekend getaway, but doesn't have time amongst all the packing. Quickly, she'll turn to Carrie.
When landing on Carrie, the first thing she's going to be asked is if she would like to share her location. This will allow Carrie to determine her longitude and latitude using a geolocation API. Once we have her location available, we'll be able to display stores that are near her. Okay. She will then have the option to shop by category or to check out the stores near her. She's heard really great things about Past Lifestyle, and she's excited to see that Past Lifestyles is listed under the stores near her. So she decides to click on Past. Once she clicks on Past, she'll be redirected to the store's page where she'll see the store's information. She'll be able to browse by categories, shop by type, as well as see any new arrivals. She decides to click on, I don't know, Broama skirt. I don't know how to pronounce that. Once she clicks on the skirt, a pop-up will appear and she's able to choose a size. She decides to click on small and grabs 2 of them, one for herself and one for her sister. So she exits out of the pop-up and scrolls back up because she would like to shop by category. She wants to shop under accessories. And she thinks this fanny pack would be a great product to take with her on the getaway trip. So she clicks on choose size and adds one to her bag. She thinks she's all set for her getaway trip. So she goes ahead and clicks on her shopping cart.
So Carrie mainly focuses on using Context API in order to store information between components. This means that the majority of the information is stored in context providers and passed down to their child components. In addition, we also implemented protected routes. So if there's not a customer signed in, then they can go ahead and sign in. We did this by allowing a user to add items to their carts using sessions. So a lot of people like to shop and browse and they don't actually buy things. So we wanted to give that liberty to any potential customers in order to gain a bigger market. So we're gonna go ahead and sign in with a pre-registered user. So the user has been signed in and we're rerouted, and now we can go ahead and finish checking out. So this would also take in information from our context providers, which again, grab the information of the user that is signed in. As they proceed throughout the checkout, they can also decide on what kind of delivery they would like. Because Carrie is focused on same-day delivery and based on the location that Adans had mentioned previously, if you want it sooner rather than later, you can choose to get rush delivery. If not, then you can choose it by the end of our business day or actually get it tomorrow. It's a lot quicker than, you know, shopping online and waiting the full 7 days for your package and just tracking it and waiting all that time anxiously for your product. So you place the order and go ahead and receive your order number, in which we would send out a notification to our couriers and our stores that an order has been placed and it is on its way of being processed. Those 3 things that I had mentioned, again, location API and context, as well as material UI and hooks, which is how we managed our state and created our design, and sessions that allowed that anonymous user were the 3 things that we mainly considered our technical milestones. We had to learn new software in order to be able to produce this application, as well as kind of understand what we needed specifically with the longitude and latitude with API and entering that into our database.
For future implementations, we plan to add complete platforms for carriers and stores which will interact synchronously. We would also like to add a full payment method across all platforms, add notification features for all ends to receive updates, and use Google API to convert store addresses stored in our database into longitude and latitude. Finally, we would also like to expand our platform to have many store partnerships to reach all types of consumers and increase our market demand. In conclusion, Carry is a lifestyle, same-day delivery app, getting your luxury daily necessities today.
And we would like to open up the floor for the judges' questions. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. A few points. Yeah, I really like the presentation. I really like that extra step on in conclusion, like summarizing what the app is about. I think that's a really, really nice touch. So keep that up. I noticed that similar problems to other teams, the photos, there's ones that are wider, shorter than the others. I think Dance's is a little bit shorter than everyone else's. That makes it look a bit weird. I think actually, yeah, that's the only one. So that's on that. For the solution script, I think if I'm correct, I think Brianna, you were talking about this. I think it can be shorter. I think I realize I can, I can help revise it. I think one thing that could be removed is about the current options that the user has, which is going to the store themselves. I forgot the other. I think it was like the last paragraph. I think that could be be either completely removed or embedded shorter, revising the entire thing. I think I like the fact that it didn't sound like you were reading as much as it did the first time. So that was good, but definitely like keeping it a little bit shorter so that I keep like concentrated on you that's speaking. Yep. The last.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, go
For
ahead.
this particular slide, maybe for the first bullet point, you can just say a three-sided marketplace, right? And then for the second bullet point, you can say tailored to help businesses evolve. And then you can like extrapolate in your actual speech. Just basically the wording on the slides can just be a teaser that encourages, it's a visual teaser that encourages your hearers to listen to you as opposed to reading the slides.
The last thing I have is about pinpointing or just keeping track of the use or what items you're going to click on and like what specifically, so that for instance you know how to pronounce the name or pick another one that's easier. That basically just like picking, jotting down like, okay, we're gonna click on this dress, we're gonna select the small size and so on. Besides that, I think this is
One more thing, that piece of feedback I have for this particular group, you were at 6 minutes and 28 seconds. At one point, I don't know what happened, but it seemed like you were rushing. Slow down. What you have to say is important. We want to hear you. Your app's amazing.
Oh, I think
you have the time. 30 seconds of it. So not a lot.
I think on that, I almost forgot. Yeah. Kathy, at some point, yes, you were speaking a bit too fast. I know that you're going to be working on that. Cool. Great.
Thank you for your feedback.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, right on time.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent work.
Yeah. Good work. I was thinking about, this is also about like you, like if later on you want to do a presentation about any project that you want to undertake, if you want to create your own company, this is also practice for that, for tightening up an application, trying to capture your audience and getting them involved. Cool. Okay, I hope everyone has a good night. We will see you tomorrow. Bye,
Thank you all.
Again, thank you so much.
Good night.
Wow. This is amazing.
Thank you.
These apps. Wow. Hi, Vonil.
Hi.
What's up?
So I have to hear back, but my mentor, So he last Monday he reached out to me about internship at his company.
Hi. Yes.
I already had the interview on Friday.
Huh?
He said that it was him and two other people. That one person he liked me more than the other two people, and the
Is
other
there an
guy
alternate?
not yet.
Oh, I'm very proud of you. Great job. Keep doing it. Let us know how we can support.
Okay.
Awesome.
Networker champion. O'Neill.
Yeah.
I'm hot. I'm out of here. Good night.
Bye.
I'm so proud of everybody though. That that's a stellar presentation, and the work that they put in is incredible.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.